this is my assistant and my daughter Emily. And today we're actually making a pattern hack for the Rachel. So this is the Rachel tank. I have the one for the adults and she has the one for the kids. So we've actually taken this and we made matching ones. I did not do a fitting in front of the mirror, and I actually do need to take the armhole in just a little bit more. But in this video I'll have how to basically make your pattern changes right on your fabric, and also how to just make simple adjustments. So here I'm actually going to be turning the Rachel tank into a dress. So I took my measurement from shoulder to knee, or however long you want it, and I'm doing this in the front over the bust. So I measured it and it was I guess about 40 inches. So I'm going to line up this ruler about 3/8 of an inch from the top, and I'm going to, of course my weights are in the way. Honey, please stop that. Just find a seat and sit, okay? And I'm going to measure down to 40. And I'm just going to find a place here. Can you get me some pins, honey? So I'm going to use these yardsticks as my guide for right now. And I double checked and I tried to make sure that I line these up around the same. It looks like the front I lined up a little bit lower, so I'm just going to take this down another inch. Honey, the pins are right here. Okay, so I'm actually going to be pinning kind of where my yardstick is, just across my fabric. And this way it would be a good little guide.
That's what you did for mine.
Yep, that's exactly what I did for yours. So I made actually matching little Rachels and big Rachels. So, and I only placed the centerpiece here to know that I actually have enough to cut. I only need to cut one layer of this, so I just needed to make sure it's going to be good. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay, so I've got my back lined up to the fold, and this is just, I think, 2 yards of fabric, and I'm using just a little over a yard. So you could probably, if you only need 36 inches, hey, you can get away with a yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my yardstick, and I want it to kind of flare from the waist. So here it kind of curves back in. So I'm just going to take this, and from the waist, just line it up going that direction. Now let's see, I'm going to try and do this on the back, and if anything I may need to adjust my directions. So coming from the waist on the front, it looks like they're going to meet right at my pin line. So I'll grab my pins again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the yardsticks as my guide to flare out the sides. And since the front and back work well together, the shape should be fine. Okay, there we go on the back, and then on the front. And the front, this is I think I'm doing the extra large EF.
And what did he do for mine, Mama?
So if you're going to use, let's say, a larger than this one, you know, you might want to, you probably won't be able to get this pattern piece cut in the middle, but you could always fold your fabric a little bit different to conserve. Okay. And that's pretty much how I prepped it. Now this line here, this is a straight line.
So straight.
Yep, so I'm just going to take this straight down.
All the way down to those.
Yep, all the way down to the pins. Thank you for telling everyone, Emily. And this is what Emily looks like after she's gone swimming and hasn't brushed her hair in a week. You look like a lion. Okay, good scissors. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut for length first. This makes it a little bit easier. And so you still have all of this fabric left if you're getting 2 yards. Now I actually do have, I think, like about 5 or 6 kind of pre-cut pieces of this purple in 2 yards on my website. So if you're interested, I do have that there. It's left over from when I had my store. So, okay, excuse me, sweetie, I gotta be here. You're gonna have to move. Ugh. Okay. Not funny. Okay. And then I'm just gonna cut out my pieces.
That's my.
I'm going to remove the pins from both these pattern pieces, and I'm going to actually need to notch. Ow! Oh, there's a pin in the. Ow! Just stepped on a pin.
I need to get them
and
pins.
so this is
done.
EF. I'm just going to do a tiny little snip right here, so I can line up my notch. Now I know some people. There's the culprit. I know some people prefer to do this as a cutaway dart. You can certainly do that when you're using the overlock machine. If you're just going to be sewing this with a straight stitch, I would keep it because it actually helps it fold to the right side. Yeah, you can take those. And,
All the pins out.
but, whoops, I need one pin back. Actually, probably two. Need 2 pins. I'm going to take the point of my dart, so right here, I'll flip it to this side. I want to get my dart position there, and right here. Okay, so this piece is already, get all the pins out of this one except for these 2 I just put in, okay? Okay, so I've got this here, line up my grain. I'm going to take this 16 inches longer, going down this direction, which will be right there. And these may be a little bit long because I'm not being precise about these, but at least this will be long enough. Okay. So, I'm going to show my. Yeah.
Come over here.
I'm going to use my weights as my guide.
You're going all the way to here.
I'm going past it. Make sure I set it so I can sew cut right to the outside of that. Okay, so before we do any hems or finishings on this, we're going to sew it together first. We're also going to test
On my
fit.
sewing machine, okay?
Don't interrupt me.
I'll clean off my sewing.
Okay, but you're not sewing. Okay.
No, can I please sew?
We have this little design detail here, which I'm going to then use this really awesome fabric. My friend Erin designed it, so it's her textile design. So let's see which way the stretch is. Okay, so it needs to go this direction, and hopefully this is long enough. Let's see if I put this all the way to the top. I'll be able to get 14 inches down. So I may end up having to alter the, well, I can probably get away with putting a little bit in this white because this is going to be done in the neckline. So, okay, so if you do want to do the purple fabric, honey, I'm talking, okay? Let's say you do want to make this one and you buy the purple off my website. I will give you enough. I'll do basically a length like I just did of this fabric so you can make this one if you want. You just need to make a note in the order that you would like a strip of this. And I don't have a lot of it. This is all I have. All I have is 1 yard. So it is what it is, but I don't think I have, I think I may have like, I'm not sure how many I have of that, but I may be able to get about 10 out of this one, maybe only 8. So you can definitely put in a request, but if I don't have it available, I won't be able to ship it to you. But I would do that free of charge as long as you get the fabric. And I'm all ready to go ahead and start doing my sewing. So you're going to sew this the same ways that you would do the regular Rachel. I'm actually going to stop before I do the elastic on the neckline so we can do a quick video on fitting. Okay, so these are our Rachel tanks turned into dresses. Emily made hers and I made mine. I definitely see I need to make some adjustments up here. I actually have lost about 2 inches around in my chest area since I actually cut the pattern out originally, not from when I sewed it. So in Emily's, put your arms down, honey. So Emily's is hanging a little bit too far low for my comfort level, so I'm going to raise it up a little bit. So honey, head up. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up probably about a ½ inch. Honey, stop looking, stop looking. No. Because remember, this is also going to roll down just a hair. But this tank top's a little bit on the high side. Okay, let me see your arm. Okay, so I can also probably shave off a little bit in the front armhole. Don't move, I don't want to cut you. Don't move. Okay. Emily, just don't move. Okay? Hey, stop. Stop moving. I'm not going to, if you move, I will cut you. Stop. Okay, stand right there. Stand. Move your hand. I need to cut the fabric, okay? If you move, Emily, look up. Look up. You're putting a shadow. Okay, so I'm going to do this right in the front armhole, and I'm going to do this on the other side. I'm going to keep this as my reminder. Turn around. Let's look at the back. Turn around. And this side actually looks fine. This side looks a little bit gaping. Other than that, I think hers is fine. So I know that that's a ½ inch, so I'm going to take that off. You can take that dress off. Okay, now it's my turn to evaluate my fit. So obviously if I had a mirror, it would be a little bit better. But what you want to look at is first where your side is. My side is supposed to be kind of right underneath here, so I can see that my side seems off a little bit. So I'm actually going to pinch it so that seam is right on my side, which is right here. Ooh. I don't stab myself. So if I take that in and I just taper it down to nothing right about here, I think that fits fine. The shoulders, what do you think, honey? Shoulders looks like I could probably shave off a little bit in the armhole. So, and I'll be very careful before I take this off. So if I'm gonna probably shave off about a ½ inch right there. I think the back is fine. My darts, I might actually want to take and round them just a little bit more, make them a little bit longer. So I think if I round them off and end them more like this, I think they'll be fine. And that's kind of how you do your fit adjustment. And once I make these changes, then I'm going to go and sew the elastic on and do my hem. And I know you can't see the hem from when I was cutting. You can see it's all sorts of uneven. I'm going to straighten this out when it's on the table, and then I'll just be doing a cover stitch hem on that. So I always recommend when you're working on, really before you're doing any finishing touches of elastic, that you go in and you try it on before you put the elastics in to make it easier to adjust. And I didn't, so I'm going to have to go do that now. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you would like to have more content like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Thank you very much.